Hello and welcome to In Motion, the Compass podcast. Compass is the Community Planning Association of Southwest Idaho. We plan for the future of Ada and Canyon counties and aim to give you the most up-to-date information on what's being planned in your area, updates and information regarding the region's long-range transportation plan, Communities in Motion 2050, and to keep you in the loop about Compass events so that you can be involved in the future of transportation here in the Treasure Valley. Today we're here to discuss Compass's long-range transportation plan, Communities in Motion 2050, and are joined by Austin Miller. Austin joined Compass in September of 2022. He is a principal planner and the planning team lead. Previously, Austin worked at the Ada County Highway District in the Development Services Department, reviewing development applications, assessing impact fees, and overseeing the 20-year capital improvements plan. He holds a Bachelor of Business Administration degree from Boise State University. We're happy to have you here, Austin. Would you mind telling us what Communities in Motion is, or CIM?
Yeah, Communities in Motion is our regional long-range transportation plan. It encompasses both Ada and Canyon counties in their entirety. And this plan, it is required by the federal government, so it does come with a few stipulations. And one of them is that it's required to be a multimodal plan. So for most of us, there is a lot of private vehicle driving here in town. We do have to look at that, but we do also look at the active transportation network. So for us, that's walking, biking. We also look at public transportation. We also look at freight, and then how all of these various modes interact with each other, and really how can we plan for all of them to function as efficiently as possible.
Awesome. And I know this plan is also fiscally constrained. Can you explain what that is in Communities in Motion?
Yeah, it essentially means, the way I like to frame it, is that it's not a wish list. This is a list of projects that we have to show the ability that we can reasonably be able to pay for them. Looking into the future, looking at some of our member agency budgets, we can't just list all the projects we want to do. We have to list all the projects we think we can financially afford to do moving forward. So we are on a 5-year update cycle. So we have Communities in Motion 2050, looking all the way out to, not surprisingly, the year 2050. We're also working on Communities in Motion 2055, again, looking all the way out to 2055, and we do get a full 5 years to be able to plan for that additional horizon.
And that's a long time to prepare for one plan update. Could you tell us how much work goes into those 5 years to make an update?
Approximately 5 years worth of work goes into that. Yeah. Actually, it is surprisingly a little bit more than that, because when we were going through the adoption process for Communities in Motion 2050, we had already begun thinking about what we wanted 2055 to be. Through some of the public engagement, we had gotten some new ideas that, while we may not have been able to incorporate this time around, there's certainly a lot of value there. So we started working on 2055 in advance of 2050 being formally adopted. Honestly, it's a little over 5 years, and it involves everyone at Compass. We have a team of 5 who their full-time job is working on this plan, coordinating with our member agencies, talking to the community, seeing what they want it to be. And then there are other members of Compass who they're certainly doing other things throughout the years. However, at points in time, we have to bring everybody in to help us out with certain tasks.
Transportation deaths and serious injuries are preventable. We can make our roads and streets safer for all. Improving safety on roadways in Southwest Idaho will save lives, your life, and the lives of your children, parents, friends, and neighbors. By developing a robust, collaborative regional safety action plan, Compass and its members are taking an essential step forward in improving transportation safety and saving lives across our region. Make your voice heard and provide input on transportation safety in the Treasure Valley by taking our online survey at compassidaho.org/safety. It's open through April 5th. Now, back to the show.
While we went over what it is, could you tell us why we need it?
Yeah, so it is a federal mandate to have a metropolitan long-range transportation plan for any areas with over 50,000 people. Obviously, the Treasure Valley exceeded that number a long time ago, so we've been around for a number of years. However, in my opinion, even if it weren't federally required, it's just a good idea to have a long-range transportation plan. So I like to think we would be doing it in some capacity either way. All of our commuting patterns, how we get around town, how we interact with our fellow people, we're out and about people. That's kind of how we are, and we want to maintain that. However, transportation infrastructure costs a lot of money. So a long-range transportation plan is just constantly looking at, one, how many people are there? Two, where do we need to go? Where do we want to go? And how can we best invest our money to make sure that we're getting the biggest bang for our buck?
So next month, we're going to be going into the numbers more detailed with Tony Tisdale, our resource development team lead. So hold your horses for now. We're going to be delving into that next month and really kind of go into what the costs are for transportation improvements and planning. So you mentioned growth and how the Treasure Valley has exceeded the 50,000 population mark for the requirement for an MPO. Could you kind of delve into the growth that we expect to see by 2050?
Yeah, absolutely. So I will also start with where we're at now. For anyone who's not aware, our region, we are a little bit over 800,000 people is our current estimate. In Communities in Motion 2050, we had forecast 1,075,000. And actually, just recently, our board had approved the Communities in Motion 2055 forecast up to 1,300,000. So
Wow.
we're growing fast, and the forecast numbers, we're trying to bear that, trying to keep up with all of the growth that we've been seeing.
Planning for a transportation system that can support that growth is important. It's time for Compass's Term of the Month. This month, our term is Complete Network. In Compass's Long-Range Transportation Plan, Communities in Motion 2050, we plan for a complete transportation network that is designed to serve all users, including pedestrians, cyclists, transit riders, motorists, and freight haulers. This complete network is designed to serve you, no matter how you commute, and reflects all modes of transportation. Can you explain how board members and local officials are involved in the development of CIM?
Yeah, so board members are involved really every step of the way. So last year, the board approved the work plan for the update to Communities in Motion 2055, which is really what guides staff. It provides a task list, timelines, budgets moving forward for the adoption. And they do ultimately adopt it. So in December of 2022, they had adopted Communities in Motion 2050, hence that being our current plan, and that's what we're operating on currently.
Awesome. Could you explain how the public helped influence or helped shape CIM?
Yeah, absolutely. So in Communities in Motion 2050, we went out to the public with 3 surveys, and they all provided a unique sense of insight to our community. One of them showed that our residents really like sound fiscal decision-making, I guess is a good way to put it, which isn't necessarily surprising, but it's good to see that what I'm feeling is actually borne out by them actually telling us that. Another item that was really interesting that came from that public outreach was that while they do like that sound fiscal decision-making, the members of the public indicated that they would support paying more for a quality transit system. So it's not that they don't want to pay for anything, it's just that they want to make sure that their money is being used wisely, which is something that I think we all agree. It makes sense. And that was borne out by our public input. Another, and a little bit biasly, I'm going to say one of my key takeaways was we received a lot of commentary regarding housing, and specifically the strain of housing affordability on our residents. So that was one of those items I alluded to earlier that we weren't really able to include in Communities in Motion 2050. But because we did hear so much about it, and there has been a change in federal guidance, that we've now been granted the ability to look at housing, more so how it ties in with transportation. And Compass has taken full advantage of that. Thankfully, with the support of our board, we have gone through and done a regional housing coordination plan, was approved in October 2023. And so with the update to Communities in Motion 2055, there's going to be a lot more discussion on how our region can really collaborate around housing. And that came directly from reaching out to the public and listening to what they were struggling with.
We definitely go out for public comment fairly often, so just a plug for our website. If you want more information or ever want to know if there's a public comment period going on, you can visit compassidaho.org and follow that to the comments and questions webpage. We're always happy to hear anything you have to say, and if you ever have any comments or questions, please email info@compassidaho.org. Just a small aside. And just diving deeply into CIM, I know you mentioned the different modes of transportation that CIM focuses on earlier. Would you mind explaining that? I know that there are a few sets of goals for CIM involving safety, economic vitality, convenience, and quality of life. Is there any further deep dive you want to go into any of those topics?
Yeah, the one thing I think is important to sort of keep in mind is we have goals, objectives, and then they all lead to performance measures as well. So those goal areas you mentioned are really, I kind of view them as our objectives rolled up into just a category that summarizes some of them. So you didn't list reducing congestion. However, we hear all the time from people that traffic is not fun, being stuck in it. People don't enjoy that. What are things we can do to reduce congestion? That is an item. It is certainly a Compass objective. It is listed in there. However, it is just encompassed with a lot of other items. I believe we have 36 objectives that we are constantly monitoring. Again, we have performance measures. We're looking at all these things on a regular basis. So even if it didn't make the top 4 list of goals, really it's something that we are reporting back to our board on regularly.
Thank you so much, Austin. And if you have any questions about the Long Range Plan Communities in Motion 2050, feel free to send us an email at info@compassidaho.org. If you'd like to view the online plan, visit communitiesinmotion2050.compassidaho.org to view the plan in its entirety. Staying up to date with what we're up to just got a whole lot easier with the Compass podcast. For more information, please visit our website, compassidaho.org. If you need to reach us, or if you would like to submit ideas for future episodes, please email us directly at info@compassidaho.org. Thanks for listening. Drive safely, Treasure Valley.